I want to just mention Laura Brock. Obviously announced a few hours before the match that this would be her final game for the Matildas. And I just think it's a real credit to her the way she has gone about, especially the tail end of her career. She got a few minutes late, obviously, so she made 2 appearances off the bench this tournament. But this is a player who looked well and truly out of the frame. And apparently, who looked well and truly out of the frame, and then went to Melbourne Victory, put in like an incredible W League season, leading that defence, got called up for the 2019 World Cup, came back into favour under Ante Milicic, was really good in the lead up, and then had that really unfortunate foot injury and missed the Olympics, but played such a role in the dressing room in terms of supporting that team. Chloe Lagazo referred to her as a superwoman, which was her iconic celebration, the Miracle of Montpellier, which just underlines the quality of person Laura Brock is. And she played a big role in terms of supporting Carly Rossbach, and a player who I think we could have actually used in this tournament, played a big role in terms of supporting Carly Rossbach and to step into that hole and have a real impact. And then, she obviously missed out on the World Cup, fought back again, had another top season, then obviously went to France and clearly enjoyed her time there, worked her way back into calculations, and she's managed to finish her career with a couple of appearances at the Olympic. You speak to anyone who has ever worked with Laura Alloway as a player, as a coach, as a staff member at a club, be it physios, media, whatever, everyone just has great things to say about her as a player, and more importantly, as a person. She's clearly ready to move on to the next stage of her life now, but I don't think you can underestimate the sort of influence she's had. And the reaction of her teammates on social media yesterday, hours before one of the biggest games of their lives, I think really reflected that. And another moment was post-match. Her career had just finished, but there were photos actually of her sort of on one knee speaking to Steph Catley, who was on the ground clearly devastated. So I think that's a testament to both the player and the person, that even in her, what I can imagine would have been an overwhelming number of emotions, won the loss to the final game of her career, was still comforting her teammates. So, Laura Brock, congratulations on a great career.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to sort of reiterate that, there are a couple of memories that I have of Laura throughout this Tokyo Olympics. We mentioned it in, I think, after the Great Britain win, where she was just in tears. She was crying probably more than any of the players who actually took to the field, because it meant so much to her to see this team and to see her colleagues, her friends, her family, in a lot of ways, reach this incredible milestone. And speaking of her relationship with Chloe Lagazo in particular, I recall seeing a shot of the two of them at halftime in the bronze medal match, where Lagazo, the Matildas sort of came out early from the tunnel and they were getting ready to go again. And Brock had pulled Lagazo over to the sideline, and Lagazo was looking quite a little bit despondent, a little bit lacking in confidence, not quite assured of what she was doing. And it was 3-1 at that point, so the Matildas was probably not feeling great about it. But Brock she had both hands on Lagazo's shoulders and was staring her in the eyes and was just telling her, obviously, something to pump her up, just to believe in herself, to not give up. And, when we spoke about Brock in a previous episode, we tied in players like Lydia Williams, we tied in players like KK, like Lewick, like Polkinghorne, players who are veterans of this team, mothers of this team in some ways, players who may not have had huge roles on the field, but have very, very clearly had huge roles off it, in terms of this culture, in terms of the mentality of these players, in terms of teaching them lessons, of keeping them calm, of doing all the psychological and emotional labor that often goes into football behind the scenes. And I think that's what makes players like Brock so remarkable and so worthy of remembering, is because they have contributed to the careers of so many other people in ways that aren't really quantifiable. There are moments like that of gripping Lagazo by the shoulders and saying, don't give up, don't drop your head, we've still got this. That in moments like this, in high pressure moments like this, a phrase like that from someone you trust can change everything. And that is what is so fabulous about players like Brock and why she will be so deeply missed, I think, by the Matildas and by a lot of people in women's football generally.
I really hope she'll still be around, because I'm sure she can continue to bring all those wonderful qualities to this team, even if she's not, playing. Sam, don't cry. Stop crying. Sam's crying. Now I'm crying.
Back in hell. A lot of feelings.
All right. Said what we've said.
Sort of person you hope does stick around the game, whether it's in coaching, in punditry, in whether it's involved at the junior levels or lower levels, like just the sort of person that the game's better off for having, and the Matildas clearly have been better off for having around. So yeah, congratulations, Laura Brock, and good luck for what comes next.